The killer clown craze is taking over not just the United States, but the world. There apparently have been 14 clown-related incidents in 24 hours in Great Britain. And that's huge. And there is one person that's taking to the streets to defend us against these clowns, dressed as Batman, according to one post. Batman is going out and chasing off the killer clowns, and one person responded, "Hi, Batman, my name is," whatever. "I have been scared of this clown situation. School told us about it yesterday. I seen on my mummy Facebook that you caught the clown. This means I can go to school and not be scared. Thank you for your efforts. My mum says you might be at Whitehaven Christmas lights switch on. Oh, turning on the Christmas lights. Do you have a Batmobile? I hope to see you there. I can see you and your mobile. Love." So that's good. That's one part of it.
Great accent, Brett.
Thank you. It's perfect. It stayed in the same region of Britain throughout. But yeah, people in the British, Parliament say, according to the Tory MP from Selby, Hollywood's taken a sinister turn with this interpretation of the clown in recent years. And if this is in turn coming to our streets, where people are dressing up to intimidate members of the public, then clearly this needs some thought. The killer clown craze has been frightening for professional clowns as well. Clowns have decided to take to the streets in Arizona to raise awareness for the Clown Lives Matter movement. Because according to them, clowns who originally set out to entertain people have gotten a bad name because fools are trying to mess with people dressed as clowns. So more than 100 clowns are expected to be at the Clown Lives Matter March, October 15th at 6:30 p.m. in Tucson, Arizona. What are your thoughts? 5 words or less.
You're not born a clown.
The tears of a clown.
Quit clowning around.
Brett, everyone in the studio, when you guys read got this story, did you not have to just stop? I pulled over and was like, "Clown lives matter," and I didn't want to make a joke about it because clowns do matter. They really happen. It was just like there's a Clown Lives Matter movement. It was amazing. I was like, wow, this is what's going on in our world. But according to the World Clown Association, who they also have their annual World Clown meeting in March, every March, that there is 3,500 clowns now working in America, down from 4,000 from 2 years ago. So clowns it's definitely a big deal. But I mean, if clowns are being beat up, hurt, and possibly, killed, then I'm all for this Clown Lives Matter movement.
This is the thing. People see that the scary clown is a fun little gag to pull on people that started with reports that someone was dressing as a clown to abduct children. That's no laughing matter.
No.
But people think it's funny because this is folks dressed as clowns, which are supposed to be funny. And I get the inherent funniness in the juxtaposition. To be serious, I understand that clowns now are getting a bad name, and it's not a good time to be an actual clown, and people do that as a source of income to entertain people. It's really sad they can't do that anymore. However, to call it the Clown Lives Matter movement,
I know.
There's no history of oppression of clowns.
Yeah, most of them have white faces.
Well, the thing is also a lot of people suffer from chlorophobia, which is the fear of clowns, right?
Oh, believe me, extensively reported on Pop Trigger.
Look, if...
No, seriously, I'm glad you know chlorophobia.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it back in the 80s when I was young. I think clowns are very creepy, but I mean, if people are being hurt or there's an inherent danger now with clowns that's not good, then I say have a movement. I mean, you could do a movement. I mean, there's so many movements nowadays. What's adding another one to the mix?
Wow, Grace's mind just got blown. What's the matter? Where are you coming from, champ?
Do you need a moment, Grace?
Maybe. You're not born a clown. You become a clown, and if you're clowning responsibly, it shouldn't be an issue.
That's not true. That's not at all true, Grace.
What?
Well, here's the thing, is now people aren't going to hire clowns because a couple of clowns are dressing up like clowns.
It's hurting the clown economy.
And scaring the crap out of people. This is a negative
No.
externality.
No.
What are you talking about?
Because look, if you're a birthday clown, if that is your source,
Yeah.
if that's your source of income,
Don't laugh.
No, we're speaking
That's
seriously
what
about
I'm
this.
do you
talking
know
about.
the reason
Serious
why I'm
topic.
laughing is because there's a stand-up comic named Kathleen Madigan who does this really good bit about how she went to a bank one time to get a loan, and she was describing that she's a stand-up comic, and the bank teller didn't really speak English so well and just assumed that she was a birthday clown. That's funny. And she's like, oh, like you tell jokes to the kids, and she's like, oh, okay, sure, I'm a birthday. If like that helps me get a loan.
So let's
That's
say
a
you're
major
a clown.
segue. But let's say that you are a licensed, I don't know how it works, but if you're a licensed working birthday clown, these clowns shouldn't, scary clowns shouldn't affect your business because they're obviously not being hired for their work, whereas you're a professional clown with a website, you have people who have vetted your services.
No.
People are not confusing real clowns with scary clowns because look at the scary clown masks. Those are not what clowns actually are, and I feel like hopefully people in the clown
Grace.
community would back me up and say, look, yeah, that sort of clowning is not the sort of clowning that we do.
Grace, usually you're so smart.
Am I dumb today?
Right now, you couldn't be
Why?
further from it. You just are refusing to acknowledge that this has done so much damage to the clown image.
But they're not clowns.
That's what I'm saying. They're not clowns. And the Clown Lives Matter movement, shittily named though it may be, is trying to make the point you're making. But the thing is, they have seen hiring of clowns decline since this started.
Right.
Because you hear clowns in the news. Now clowns are bad. That's enough to get people to say, I'm not hiring any clowns.
But these clowns don't even
Grace,
look like regular clowns.
You're being reasonable, but you're also got your head in the sand.
I also,
You're right that people shouldn't stop hiring clowns. That to a reasonable person, a normal clown is not the kind that's going out and hijacking kids and trying to lure them and beat people up.
The makeup is totally different. The
But
skill
still,
set is
this
totally
does
different.
damage to clowns. So why would I even mess with clowns at all?
I wonder at this protest though, because when there's like gay pride and you have certain types of specialty parades and celebrations, they have protesters there too. Because we have to admit, like you said, as stupidly as this name, the Clown Lives Matter, the people who are organizing this are probably having a hard time finding people to support them. There's only 100 clowns estimated 100 clowns are going to come to this march in Tucson, right? So I'm sure for them too, that's also got to be daunting to get support for that as well.
Yeah, it's a smaller minority than most minorities, the clown minority.
I wish that they had called it Clown Pride and not Clown Lives Matter because it feels like they are poking fun at a
the
very
Black Lives,
serious
right, sure.
movement. Like, black people can't wash off. They're not wearing makeup. You know what I mean? They can't wash off their skin color.
To a lot of clowns,
you cannot clown. If you're so afraid, like you cannot clown and then just change when you get hired to your venue and then go be a clown and then take off your makeup and no one's gonna hurt you.
See, I think that's even more insensitive. You're getting more and more ridiculous.
I am?
Yes.
I truly.
To a lot of clowns,
don't
this
hear
skin
this.
that you see when you're not wearing makeup, that's not their skin. Their true skin is when they're in full clown
So what you're
regalia.
saying, Brett, what Brett is saying
You're
is that
you're saying like, hey, that's like if I said, Grace, go wear a dress when you go outside, and then when you get home, put on your boy clothes.
You're comparing sexuality to.
Am I
clowning?
comparing personal identity to personal identity? Yes.
Brett, what
and
you-
you're the one who's saying, just hide your clownness.
But are you saying that them being a clown is their overall being? That's who they are. That's who just their person is. That's their identity. Is that even when they're not in makeup or not in that's
Yes,
just
they
who
are
they
born
They're
clowns. They didn't realize it until a certain time when they saw a bunch of people dressed in full clown gear crawl out of a tiny car. And they're like, that's who I am. Those are my people. And Grace is, and I think by calling, and it's weird that you want to call it clown pride, because I think the same way of calling it Clown Lives Matter poo-poos the struggle of African Americans, calling it clown pride poo-poos the gay movement.
Okay.
Call it clown. No clowning around. We're clowns and we've been around.
That's actually a pretty good name.
Yeah.
Call it.
Brett, can I ask you something? Are you a clown? I feel
You're
like
super passionate about it,
I honestly
yeah.
feel
You know,
like this
that's
is like
even
your
more
coming out
offensive.
episode.
It's even more offensive that you think for me to be able to identify with the struggle of clowns that I have to be one. And that's the thing, is like people don't know how to empathize anymore in society. People like Grace.
No.
Jason gets it. Grace doesn't get it. She can't empathize with anyone that's not in her situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I can.
See what happens when
because
Sam's not here?
I'm
We
bad.
just we're like we're out of control on Pop Trigger today.
We're also out of time on Pop Trigger. Give us your thoughts in the comments section below. Are you open-minded and courteous and loving like me, or are you a terrible person like me?
No!
Give us your thoughts, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.
Wow.